So let's begin. Let me set my stuff aside. Let's begin lying down on our backs, completely flat back, if that's okay. Hey, Becky. So you can do knees parallel or drop your, well, actually, no, I said straight, right? We're going to straight Shavasana. Take a few moments and imagine like you were a kid playing chalk and you trace yourself, right? Follow the outline of your body. And then maybe it feels good to kind of wave the bottoms of your feet. So your feet are kind of like all rabid windshield wipers there to open up your hips. And then we can let that come towards stillness and take a full body stretch. Stretch really long. And then bring your knees in towards your chest and rock along your spine. And then we're going to draw circles with your knees. So it gets a little bit of a massage for your low back. Rotate. And reverse the direction. And then come back to a neutral spine with your knees hugged in, and we'll take happy baby. Reach up and then reach for the bottoms of your outside edges of your feet, and we rock side to side. And then release your feet, bring your knees back in. And this time, hands behind your thighs. We'll rock forward and back. Until you come up to sit. Scoot your hips back and extend your legs wide. So we'll warm up our inner thighs with a wide leg forward fold. Reach up. And then hinge forward and lower your chest. Your forehead can even drop, a little bit of length for the back of your neck. Maybe you invite some intention to your practice, right? A mantra is a word. I did a meditation earlier this week and she kept saying, having us repeat, right? Peace is within me. Peace is around me. So maybe you want peace, maybe you want power, maybe you want forgiveness, right? What is it? And then slowly come on up, bring your legs together, a little shake of your knees. And then this time bring your feet around and set up for a tabletop on your hands and knees. Find a flat back. So your belly button pulls up toward your spine and your crown of your head lengthens forward, right? Very subtle, but not just crunching back, more of a lengthening. Spread your fingers and then drop your belly. Inhale and look up. And then exhale, tuck your chin toward your chest, lift your back up toward the ceiling now, like someone's gonna crawl underneath you. Breathe out completely. And then breathe in, drop your belly. Spread your collarbones, chin up high. And exhale, like a string from your belly button lifts up through your back. And come to a flat back. Extend your right leg back so that it's hips distance, lift it above the mat. Push through your right heel, and you'll feel your belly button pull up. Your spine and your front of your belly get a little bit tighter. Lift your left arm, reach it forward with your left thumb up. And take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, bring your left elbow and your right knee together underneath you. Bring your knee toward your nose and look back at it. And then inhale, lengthen, try to keep a flat back as you reach through your right heel and your left fingers. And exhale to squeeze, knee to nose, elbow drives past it. You look back. And inhale to lengthen. Exhale to squeeze. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to squeeze. Just going to be one more squeeze. First we inhale. Last time, exhale, squeeze. Last time, inhale, lengthen. And then back to tabletop. Tuck your toes. Sit back on your heels so you stretch every toe. Let your hands rest down onto your lap. And drop your right ear toward your right shoulder. And then slowly roll it back. And around to the other side. And then slowly down. And do that a few times, really intentional circles, like there was a pencil on the crown of your head and you want no sharp edges. Yeah, well, reversal directions, I'll figure eight, whatever feels best. And then release, hands back down to the mat. Untuck your toes and give them a little tap, tap, tap to wake them back up. Set it up as you spread your fingers. And then with your back super flat, extend your left leg. Hips stay square. And then reach your right arm out. So this is supposed to strengthen the muscles around your spine and also to connect us to our breath toward the beginning of our practice. So inhale and lengthen. And then exhale and squeeze. Knee and elbow. Challenge for the balance by looking back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Lengthen. Last time, squeeze it in. Inhale to lengthen. Your back muscles are strong. The back of your left leg is strong. And hands down to a tabletop. And then let's have you sit back on our feet if this is okay for you. Stretch for your quads. If it's not, you can always grab a block, right? And sit there or anything else nearby. Let's take just a moment to stretch quads and our wrists. So bring your hands to prayer. And then with your hands together, you're going to spin your fingers toward you. And then when you can't keep your thumbs together anymore, let them come apart, but stay connected along your pinkies. So the back of your hands touch and then around your thumbs again. So try it out. It's yoga for your body and it's yoga for your brain. Reverse the directions. Comes Addie to say hello. Okay. And then release that. Let's come back to a tabletop. And then before you go to downward facing dog, take your hands forward a little more so that they're not right under your shoulders. You want a little bit further forward and broader than your shoulders. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. And then if you want, you can shorten your stance to get your heels lower. You can lengthen your stance to get your heels further. So it's just kind of what is landing right for you. Trial and error without really any error, just trial. Pivot. Lift your heels up toward the ceiling as high as you can. Breathe in. And then push your heels down toward your mat. Breathe out. And do that again. Inhale, lift your heels, lift your hips. And exhale, heels down. Do that one more time. Lift your heel. Exhale, push down through your heels. Walk your hands back to your feet. And then feet hips distance. Let's start in a gorilla forward fold. So bend your knees as much as you need to slide your hands underneath your feet. And then with your toes at your wrist crease, you can drop your elbows out wider and your crown of your head toward the floor. Release a bind in your arms if you've got one, and bring your feet closer to each other until your big toes touch. Slowly roll up to extended mountain. Reach your arms up toward the ceiling, look up. And then exhale your hands to your heart. Pause for a moment, close your eyes, and come into your body as you stand. Maybe the first time standing still with attention for you right now today. All right, what's that word? If you want one, peace is within me. Peace is around me. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And reach your arms up. Inhale. And forward fold. To downward facing dog. Bend your right knee. Really push your left heel down toward the mat. And then follow from your left heel all the way up through your left hip. Draw that up and back toward the space behind you. Push your hands, both hands forward and down, and really feel the stretch along your left lateral side and the back of your left leg. Okay, and then let's switch it. So right knee straightens more so, left knee generous bend so that your right heel can push down. And left hip can pull back, right? If you need a visual, you can peek, but otherwise just listen. You're pushing your right heel down and pulling your right hip back. And then push your right hand down, forward. And then back to downward facing dog. It's a child's pose. Take your knees wide, big toes together. Sit back and reach forward, drop your head. And walk your hands over and off the right side of your mat. You're really stretching your left side. And then take your right hand around behind your back and flip your right palm to face up, like you're trying to scratch toward the tag on your shirt. And switch sides, walk your hands over, excuse me, Addie, to your left. Feel the stretch on your right side. And then now it's your left hand around, your left palm faces up. And then come back through center, child's pose. And then lift up, come back onto your shins. Interlace your hands behind your back and extend your arms straight away from you so your knuckles reach toward the floor. Breathe in. And then as you exhale, take the crown of your head to the floor, lift your hips up and rinse your shoulders. Rabbit pose. So shoulder rinse, inversion because your hips are higher than your head. And if you've got your arms bound, switch your hands so your thumb and pinky switch. And if you don't have them bound, I should have said earlier, or you could always do this with a towel or a strap as well. Right, or a shirt, socks, whatever. And then slowly release. Come to sit tall. And then let's go ahead and sit tall onto your shins. Tuck your toes. And then take your hands to your back, and we're going to do two variations. So one, you're going to do your fingers pointing up. So your thumbs are along your spine. Your fingers going to wrap around your waist with your thumbs facing up. So first, start to push your base of your spine down, and then lean up and back. We're going to lean up and back as far back as you can go. If you want, you could take your hand down behind and take one hand behind you for a half camel. If you want, you could take the other hand behind you for a full camel. Or you stay with both hands here and we lean back as you press your hips forward. And then slowly come on back up. Bring your hands back down to your mat. Untuck your toes and push up into cat pose. Remember, cat's the one where your back goes up, up, up. And then back to a cow, drop your belly. And a flat back. Sit tall on your shins, on your knees, tuck your toes. And then this time, instead of doing thumbs facing up, we're going to switch and do thumbs facing down so that your fingers wrap around towards your spine and your thumbs wrap forward towards your belly button. Okay. And then from there, push down through your waist, lift up through your back, and then options to stay or drop any or either hand down behind you. So there's too many schools of thought within pretty much everything, right? And within this pose, two schools of thought which way your thumbs are to face. So I like to show both because no harm, no foul, as long as we're lifting up and back. Okay, and then come on back to table and push up into your cat pose. Drop your belly, cow. And flatten your back to table. Downward facing dog. Remember to take your hands a little wider than your mat. Lift your hips up and back. From here, lift your heels. Bend your knees, look forward, come to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain, sweep your arms up over your head. Look up between your hands. And then forward fold, exhale, drop your head. Halfway lift. And then chaturanga, plant your hands, step back, low push up or drop your knees, cobra or up dog to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees, look forward, exhale to the top of your mat. Halfway lift and fold. Extended mountain reach up. And forward fold, empty out. Halfway lift. Plant your hands and low push up or drop your knees. Cobra or upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, exhale forward, halfway lift, and forward fold. Extended mountain inhale, reach your arms up, and forward fold as you exhale, halfway lift, and chaturanga. Last sun A, little bit of fluidity, up dog or cobra to downward facing dog. From down dog, lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward and come to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, forward fold to chair. And sit in your chair. Let's take the variation, a little bit of space between your knees, just enough to hold a grape or a cherry tomato, something you don't want to burst. And then bring your hands to prayer at your heart and close your eyes. Start to shift your weight between your feet. So across, back and forth, one more to one side, one more to the other. And then start to send more weight into your right leg. And see if you can lift your left heel. Push your hands together. An option to lift your left foot from the mat, driving your left knee toward your chest. Open your eyes to help steady yourself or keep them closed for a challenge. And then lower and switch. So even the weight. Keep your left knee over your ankle and then right foot to some kind of degree will lift. Ideally driving your right knee toward your chest, but as long as you're maintaining that stability, we're all working towards strength by pulling your left hip over your body instead of out to the left. And then lower, reach your arms up, inhale, extended mountain and forward fold. Now take your feet wider than your hips, give yourself a solid base and grab opposite elbow for a ragdoll pose. Let your weight kind of sway and shift through your legs, hopefully your low back. And then release a bind in your arms if you've got one. And let's take a goddess pose. Point your toes to face out, drop your hips down between your heels, and use your elbows to bring your chest forward. If you feel like it's too much in your hips, that's okay. We can always come up higher, but mainly I want you to feel your chest coming forward more than any kind of arching back. And then go ahead, drop your seat, bring your knees in towards your chest, and boat pose. Reach your arms out with a little bend in your knees, or harder, they're going to be straighter, and a little bit more space between your chest and your thighs. Kitty cat. All right, so what we're going to do is stay nice and smooth. So we're going to slowly roll, hug your right knee towards you so that you lie back with your right knee in towards your chest. Point your left toes, keep your low back flat, and then switch, bring your left knee in towards you. Next time we're going to change our grip to get a little fancy. So bring your right knee in, take your left hand to your right knee and your right hand to the outside of your right ankle. And we're going to do a little pulse, pulse, and then switch right hand to your left knee, left hand outside your left ankle, pulse, 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 pulse. So keep going. We'll do these, keeping your back flat at whatever pace works for you. Little pulse, 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 switch, switch, and cut it out. And you kind of do a double exhale. So a little Pilates, more than a Ujjayi breath. Double exhale through your mouth or your nose. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lay on your back. Oh, good workout. Bring the bottoms of your feet down to your mat and lift up into a bridge with your arms bent towards each other. So your triceps stay on your mat beside you and your palms end up facing each other. Push into your triceps. Maybe you can work them even more under your body and lift up higher. And then slowly lower so that your upper, your middle, and then your low back come down. And then rock your knees side to side. And then set it up again. Another bridge, same arm variation, if that was okay. And then from here, if you want, once you work your triceps together, you might interlace your fingers underneath your back and work to straighten your arms even more. And push into the bottoms of your feet to lift your thighs toward the ceiling. And then slowly lower your back toward the floor. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees drop open. And then take your arms on the floor behind you. A little victory pose here on your back. Patty, I'm worried about licking some plastic over there. And take a moment, right? If you set an intention earlier, peace is around me, peace is within me, or whatever yours was. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Give them a squeeze. Hands behind your thighs and we rock forward and back. And you're going to come all the way to downward facing dog. So invitation, if you want to keep the momentum, is to cross your ankles, hands to the mat, and then take your feet back. You can either vinyasa through a chaturanga or make your way right back to down dog. From down dog, lift your right leg. Step your right foot forward for warrior 1. So left foot 45 degrees and facing forward. Bend into your right knee and reach your arms up along your ears. Hook your thumbs. So your right thumb is in front, or just notice which one is in front. And then with your arms over your head, I'll do a face. You keep your legs, keep where you are. I'm just showing you right here. So you're hooking your thumbs and then pulling your elbows wide. Feel that across the front of your chest, your shoulders. And then back up, warrior 1 with your arms up, and warrior 2. Turn your right palm up, reverse your warrior. And then extended side angle. So right arm comes down toward your right knee, and you'll reach your left arm up toward the ceiling. Try to keep taking your left lung back, your right lung forward. And then exhale your left hand down to the mat, side plank on the left side. So you pivot all the way to the outside of your left foot, step your right foot back and stack it up, or you could stagger, you could drop your bottom knee, you could come to your forearm. And more challenge would be to lift your top right leg. Okay, your choice. And then both hands to the mat. And chaturanga, or right back to down dog. Elbows in towards your body, either one. Downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths. Lift your left leg. And then step your left foot forward, warrior one. And adjusting however long you want to be to drive the stretch in your right calf, how wide, your balance, your hips. You want to feel your inner right thigh lift up and spiral forward. So your outer right thigh actually spirals forward. Your inner right thigh goes back, a little subtle shift. And then let's hook our fingers the opposite way. So I think that would be left one in front for me, right? Do your opposite. And then get into that pulling, that opposite pulling to create space in between. And then, hold a couple more breaths. Okay, and then release your arms, warrior one to warrior two. Line up your left heel with your right arch and bend into your left knee. Turn your left palm up, reverse your warrior. Remember, it's just one big inhale, so keep your left knee forward as you reach back. And then extended side angle, left elbow toward your left leg, right arm toward the sky, eyes up past your right hand. And then big side plank, right hand down. So if it helps to see from this side, right hand down, pivot to the outside edge of that back right foot, and then step your left leg back and create any option, any variation. But maintain softness in your right elbow. So no matter what your rest of your body looks like, there's muscle when we don't just lock out our joints that has to engage. And chaturanga. To your downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up toward the ceiling. Half pigeon. Bring your right knee toward your right wrist and your right foot somewhere between your left wrist and your left hip. Doesn't matter at all the angle there. Look back and walk your left leg straight back, and then top of your left foot is down. And then as you bring your chest forward, try to even your hips with your right hip back. So rather than, if that makes any sense, kind of like angling down, we want to try to pull your right hip back so the hips can drop together. You have your mantra, right? Your word of inspiration, right? It's around you, it's within you. And slowly begin to switch to the other side. I should have also given the option for figure four, right? So I'd set up your left side. But if you're new and you aren't aware, you could always do this one in your back. So for your left leg, your left foot would cross over your right knee and you bring it in. Just a more gentle way to find the stretch in your left hip. Right leg straight back if you're in this version of a pigeon. And then slowly come around. We'll meet with both legs extended straight ahead. Get the muscle from your sit bones and then reach your arms up and hinge from your waist forward toward your legs. You can drop your head, your forehead. I'm going to turn the fan off here real quick. It's just getting a little bit too cold. I think that's what I needed. Slowly release your forward fold to sit tall. And then slowly roll down onto your back and bring your knees in. Set your feet down on your mat with your knees bent. And set up for a bridge pose again. Another bridge. And then this time, see how it feels to put more weight into your left foot. Cross your right knee over. So we're in this bridge figure four little combo. And then slowly lower your butt down, your back down. Cross both knees over to the left. If it's okay, keep them like you've got them, but feel free to adjust it all, right? They might kind of turn into a little bit of a wrap over there on the left side, but the twist will come higher the more you kind of work to keep your right shoulder down, but naturally your right shoulder comes up. So you either let it come up for a little less of a stretch, or you really work it down through your breath, through some pressure for more. And then slowly release your twist onto your back. Set up for bridge. And then this time, put more weight into your right foot, cross your left foot over your right knee. And then as we push our arms down, right, lift our hips up and the left knee drops. You get some left hip stretch and some right leg strength. And then we'll slowly lower and gently drop those knees over to the right. And release onto your back. This time, take a full body stretch. So stretch everything out. And you stretch everything out. Right, scrunch up your face, stick out your tongue, make some sound even. And then bring the bottoms of your feet to the mat, knees together. Let's come to constructive rest. So tuck your tailbone so your back is flat. And then if it's okay, put a hand on your belly, a hand over your chest, so we can really tap into the earth underneath us and within you, your heartbeat and your breath. And when you're ready, find your Shavasana. You can stay here if this feels best for you. You could straighten your legs where we started, fully extended pose, or any combo. Grab socks for my feet. A little cold here today. So yeah, feel free to grab layers. Our body temperature goes down when we stay still, so that's why in Shavasana sometimes you might get cold. Right, more reason to get cozy. Plenty of time to take a couple moments of quiet, of meditation. It's like doing something nice for other people all day or one time, whatever your frequency, but this is doing something nice for you. Even if it's a little uncomfortable, you might want to move or move on. Right? But you really benefit from staying still. And try to bring that concept to your mind to try on to. For your next few rounds, really breathe into your belly. It's called big, full belly breathing. So full expansion and then complete release. And then if you want to bring the breath up even more from your belly into the space above your chest and through your ribs, that's our Mahat Pranayam, your full breath. The full great breath. Maha is great. And then the next few moments, let go of any control of your breath if you were playing along with any of those options, and let your breath sort of settle into its natural pattern, its natural rate. Right? And sit with or invite the idea that you're okay, right? That peace is within you, peace is around you, or whatever you want to cultivate, to manifest, to see in your life. And then your next few breaths, begin to breathe a little bit deeper. Invite some small movements. And then roll slowly to one side, either side. Take the fetal position. And then take a few moments, give yourself a pep talk or say a prayer, repeat that mantra, but say what like it means something to you, inspires you, comforts you. And then slowly use your top hand to press you up towards seated. Your hands, let's come right to hands of prayer. Gesture of gratitude. Gratitude is through you, gratitude is around you, right within. Start to rub your hands together. Rub your hands, rub your hands. Feel the heat. Feel the heat you're creating. And then take your hands somewhere on your body that you want to send a little bit extra care. This last few moments of our practice, maybe over your heart or behind your back on your shoulders. Kind of thinking of this idea of the intention, the energy we just created. We rubbed it through our palms from all of the energy in our veins, and we're circling it back in. And hands back to prayer. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, exhale, let it out. Bring your thumb knuckles between your eyebrows. And together we bow. Namaste. Have a great rest of your week and hope to see you guys Thursday.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll see you Thursday.
Sounds good. Bye.